when I first walked in and I had to go to the front desk and check in, and I was drenched. I was, so young, so, not realizing what the real world was. Right. And so I walk in thinking, oh, I'm all confident and this is going to be great. And I was, a soggy dog. I mean, it was terrible. But they saw past that, thank goodness. A weird path, but I went to school to be a teacher. And during that time, I was temping, just trying to get a couple bucks. And I was temping at a marketing company, or a company with a pretty robust marketing team. And so I started learning things, and I'm like, wait, this could be fun. And how do you position things, and how what something looks like is important, and how important a brand is, which I never really thought about before. So it sounded interesting to me. So then when it came to the point where I had to decide whether I wanted to go into teaching or try something else, I took the leap and said, well, let's try out marketing for a little while. Maybe someday I'll go back and be a marketing teacher, because I had that in high school as well. But, so that's what I started doing. And I found this little ad in the newspaper, because that's what happened years ago. You open the newspaper and you looked for your job. And I did that. And I found a little ad that said, marketing coordinator in the automotive industry. And here we are 26 years later, and I just love it. I enjoy every minute of it. I don't think there's been a time in my career where I've regretted it, one bit, for sure. And at one point in my career, just a few years in, it was like, okay, it doesn't matter what product, it doesn't matter what product you're doing. First of all, you can learn to love cars, even if you're not a car person, because it's all about people and positioning and branding and, all the fun things that we get to do. But that was something that early on, I thought I probably would be better off in an industry that I knew something about. And like I said, pretty quickly here at JM Family, and, you learn to love the people and the environment you're in, and you just want to do anything to just enjoy your job and figure it out. So I think I learned to love automotive, and I really do now. I think it's an exciting part of the world in our industry. So I did make that change. Marketing could be anything. You can't really focus on the product. You have to focus on what you have to do to market. And it's such an emotional thing. It's such a, a fun thing. And it really can make a difference. So I'll start with the events team, just because I think it's, everyone says, oh, you make things look pretty, and it's you plan parties. It's so much more than that. There's a lot of strategy that goes into our events, and we have a group of event planners that take their job very seriously, and they are certainly a certain character themselves, and they're creative and kooky and love to find things new to do, and they're proud of that. They're proud of their creativity and their ability. With that said, there's also a very analytical part of what they do. There's budgets, and there's ways to figure out how we can strategize with how many people, and how do we create the best experience possible. So it's a great combination of associates on that team that really work together to ultimately create what we say is experiences for our dealers. So we put on big trips for our dealer partners as incentive trips, and ways for them to, we get to know them better, and to get to meet them in vacation mode, which is great, right? When people are relaxed. And so we get to really show them how much we appreciate them in those worlds. Well, that was really most of our marketing team. And I think what has evolved over time, and I'm, really proud of the team for doing, is really transitioning, still being a marketing team from the event side, still doing events, and still, continually improving that every year and getting better at that, is we've really moved into more traditional side of marketing, if you will, more analytics and data, and, what it takes in the acquisition process. We work hand in hand with our sales team to make sure that we support them in a way that protects our brand, make sure that our brand is strong in the industry. So when they walk into a dealership, that they can make sure that they have a really great brand behind them and to promote. And so that way it builds credibility with the dealer, and it builds credibility, for the sales associate. So that's something we've been really proud of. So we're highly active on social media. We do a lot of what we used to do is print ads, of course, just like my little ad in the newspaper. We do a lot of print ads, and now we've transitioned to, I would say probably 80% of it is digital marketing in some way, using all the social platforms, and also, building a website that gets us to engage with our customers. Again, our customers are the dealers, so we know that audience, and we cater to that audience to make sure that they get the information and the content they need to be a better dealer. And that if, my journey in my career has not always been after leadership. That was never my goal. It was, how do I, 26 years old, 27 years old, you just want to make money, right? You want to get in there and where's my paycheck because I want to go out this weekend. But now, having journeyed through that, I started to see how leaders impacted me and how I could see things a little bit differently through their eyes, and how mentorships were so important. Because really, at some points, I didn't really understand the value of leadership. I had to learn that, and I had to learn how you have to interact with the different associates and have their back. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we do. We have each other's back in this department. And I didn't always feel that way. Sometimes I felt like, I don't want to deal with everybody else. I just want to do my job. I want to do it well. And I want to go home and, enjoy my life too. And I think what JM Family has brought me is this true appreciation of culture and leadership, and how that really can impact you, that it's more fun and more enjoyable to be in a leadership position than it was just working on my own. I mean, I'm very collaborative, and I think the team is very collaborative. And I really don't believe that any one person can get it done. And I think that was my journey, is I had to just have that light bulb moment that's like, wait a second, I really want to impact that. So I think it just took really good mentors to help me see where that was and where that could be in me. And it was the beginning of the summer, and we said, by the end of the summer, we want to understand, what does the future dealership look like? These are, kids in college, anywhere between 18 and 21, let's say 22. And we said, we're not going to tell you. We want you to tell us, what does the future dealership look like? And I think that if more of us would listen and understand the new generations coming up in this world, it's not just, they did not come up with, I just want to be on my couch and buy a car. That never even came up in the conversation. What they said is, we want to be educated. We want to be able to have information online that allows us to make smart decisions. And when I get into the dealership, they want good coffee. I mean, if you can put a Starbucks in a dealership, you are going to make these folks happy. So it was really eye-opening, and I love to tell that story to dealers when I see them, because I think that it changes the way you look at things and how you can help your dealership and build that culture, without having to say, we're going to have to, and we will have to be online. Our industry is going to have to get to the point where somebody is going to want to buy a car from their couch. But in the meantime, and in other people, we can do lots of other things to make them happy. And if coffee and a Chick-fil-A and a dealership is going to help, then let's do it. Let's do those things to create it. So that for me was really, really eye-opening from a marketing standpoint, and really helped us see that there's so much more to learn from the new generations and other people than just making assumptions. My gosh, you're scared and you're nervous and you're intimidated and all these things, but at the end of the day, you have something to add and you have value to add, and they hired you. So make sure they know that they made a good decision and have that confidence. Please don't be discouraged by anything that comes your way. If someone tells you you're not good at math, or that, this isn't for you, and you're passionate, I would challenge them and challenge them some more, and make sure that if you feel excited about it, then you're going to be successful, because you're going to be curious and you're going to learn more. And the world is here. I mean, everything about marketing is around you. So talk to great people, network, and, read and go to conferences, watch YouTube videos. There's lots of stuff about marketing out there too, but learn what's new and what's exciting. And I think that all the other pieces will just fall right in every day. There's always something new. There's always something changing. There's a new platform to try out. There's a new piece of technology to try out. In the event staff, it's like they get to figure out what are some great gifts. What are some great locations? What are the newest, best things? Because what I may have wanted to do, it's different now. So marketing is certainly a place that you have to try out, and don't let the math, discourage you. every time I walk into a dealership, I meet people who are passionate about what they do, and they love customers, and they love figuring out ways to get their job done. And it's the same in every dealership. But what's exciting is it's different in every dealership. Every dealer has a different way of, going after their goals. And I think that makes it really unique and interesting, because it's really the same thing. You're selling a car, but how you sell that car and what you do to help your customers is fascinating.